Hi, I'm Ariane Poole, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a natural look. The key to any great look is complexion perfection, so I'm going to first of all show you how to create that flawless look. Start with a primer if you need it, but I'm going to start with our Ultimate Face Tint because it's a 5-in-1 product. It has a primer in it, it has got a tinted moisturizer, a foundation, a BB and a CC cream all rolled up into one product, so you can skip a lot of steps and create a great look. So I'm going to take a tiny dollop. I always put it on the back of my hand rather than putting it either on the brush or on my fingers because it can get a little bit messy and I can control how much I use. So starting at the center of the face, I work my way out. And you can see how beautifully this covers. So if I can twist your head just a tiny bit to me, that's great, thanks. It covers really, really well, but it's lightweight at the same time. So almost like a second skin. And I'm just dabbing it on the areas that need perhaps a little bit more coverage. Always dabbing underneath the eyes. That way you don't use as much concealer and there's not that buildup of concealer underneath the eyes either. So a tiny dollop on the forehead as well. I'll just twist you around there. Perfect. Now I'm going to cover just a few little blemishes here, and I'm going to be using the concealer palette. This is our award-winning concealer palette. It contains 3 shades so that you're always the right color no matter what time of the year it is. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to mix a little bit, I think I'm going to mix all 3 actually together today. And I'm just going to dab it just on the areas that need that little bit of extra coverage. I find that it works so well and it just conceals beautifully. This is also a great product for anybody who has redness or high coloring because the concealer palette shades will help neutralize that high coloring, leaving you with a flawless complexion. I'm reaching for my Mineral Illuminating Pen. I've gone for the medium shade for Rosie because I don't want it to look too obvious. So I'm popping that underneath her eyes, and you may see that I'm putting it on a little bit lower than maybe that you're used to putting it. The reason for that is by putting it here, you actually eliminate the dark circle. If you put it too high, you find that the dark circle remains no matter how much product that you're putting on. Now I'm doing the AP pat using my middle finger. This helps blend the concealer beautifully. At the same time, it helps decongest underneath the eyes to help eliminate puffiness. So a two-in-one approach here. And you can put a little bit extra in that inner corner if you need it, and also on the outer corners if you need that as well. And this is great for around the nostril area, anywhere that you think you want just a little bit of brightness to come through. And what's lovely about this mineral pen is it won't sink into the fine lines and make them look more obvious. As a matter of fact, it does the opposite. It gives it a blurring effect, which is super. The Under Eye Face Brightener is this wonderful kaleidoscope of colors that brighten and lift the complexion. At the same time, it's not going to look like powder on your face. I'm giving it a little swirl, and then I'm going to sweep it under the eyes. And you would think that powder underneath the eyes would make the eyes look dry, dehydrated, and a little bit lined. In fact, it does quite the opposite. It makes them look refreshed no matter what age you are. And I'm also going to use it a little bit in the T-zone as well. The Under Eye Face Brightener contains a multitude of colors. The pink brightens the skin, as does the lilac. The yellow neutralizes red, and so does the turquoise. So these colors all mix together to create that beautiful, flawless complexion. With a natural look, brows are really important. I'm using our gorgeous brow balm, and I've chosen the color brunette. I'm brushing Rosie's brows down, and then I'm taking a little bit of the brunette on our double-ended brush, and I'm using the angled end, and I'm filling in just along the top of her brows. Now, I've chosen brunette because Rosie's brows are quite dark, and I didn't want to go for the blonde because it would make the brows look ashy. I didn't also want to go to too deep of a color either because it would look too fierce and harsh. But this color just perfects the shape of her brows. You can see how pretty that looks. Now I'm going to bring this one down again. The key really is brushing the brows down and just lifting from the top. And it just creates such a wonderful shape. And then I can fill in just underneath where it's needed. With the natural look, I'm going to keep the eyes really soft. I'm going to opt for the Eye Shine in Crystal Taupe. This is our iconic color. This is the first shade I ever created when I created the Eye Shines. And it's the one that really color adapts to every eye shade, every skin tone, every age. It's just my go-to product. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on my hand, and this is the one I use every single day for myself, and whenever I'm doing a fashion show, London Fashion Week, it makes no difference. This is my go-to product. So I'm going to pop that on her lids, and I'm using my finger. If you've got really gorgeous long manicured nails, you may want to use a brush, and that's perfectly fine. Now it's a cream to powder formulation, and the cream to powder dries on your lids, it's crease resistant, it's long lasting, but what's really nice is if you wanted to add a powdery eyeshadow to this, what you're going to get is longevity and crease resistance to even your powder eyeshadow, so it really does a lot of things. So I'm going to pop a little bit there on her eyelid. And remember, this is a natural daytime look, so it's super easy. There shouldn't be any sort of complicated maneuvers here, makeup-wise. And I want you to be able to do this in a real quick. That looks so, so pretty. It just gives her eyes a really nice brightness, and really, it brings out the color of her eyes without making an overstatement of eyeshadow. I'm choosing our gel pencil in Sienna, which is a chocolate brown, but it's a really deep, rich chocolate brown, like a bitter chocolate. So think 85% chocolate. And I'm going to just run that along the base of her lashes. Now with Rosie's shape of eye, I can go right to the very end. On some people, I stop slightly before. On other people, I just do it just in the center. But this is really depending on your eye shape. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a blur because I don't really want this to look as an obvious eyeliner. What I want, if you open for a second, it to look almost like a little bit of an eyeshadow effect. So I'm keeping that really soft. Look up for me for a second. I'm going to put a tiny, tiny bit underneath as well, just to act as a little bit of a shadow underneath. Not too much, because remember, this is a natural, everyday, daytime look. So I'm going to pop on a little bit of mascara. And the mascara choice is your own. I've used the waterproof here, but you can use the our non-waterproof mascara as well, or even our navy blue mascara. That's just depending completely on personal preference. Now I'm going to let those dry a little bit before I go on to the bottom lashes, and I'm going to go on to cheeks. Now I want the cheeks to have a really just a sort of a kissed color, not too much color, just a hint of a flush. So I'm opting for our blush contour duo in the Pickup Artist, which has got a peachy apricot color and sort of a bronzer on the other side. So I'm going to swirl those together to start with, and I'm going to get you to smile for me, and I'm just going to pop that on Rosie's cheeks, and I'm doing like a swirling motion going outwards towards her ear. So this is such a pretty color, and that's just working so beautifully. And the reason why I'm swirling it around like this between the two colors, because I wanted a little bit more of a muted shade of the apricot If we want a sun-kissed look, I'm going to go for more of the apricot shade, but this way you can have such flexibility with your product. And now I'm going to grab the heated eyelash curlers and give Rosie's top lashes a bend. These wonderful heated eyelash curlers mean that you never have to worry about pinching your skin around your eyes, and you always get this wonderful natural bend, not that kind of angled bend that is so often seen when you have those kind of squeezy, pinchy ones. And take a look, doesn't that look so pretty? It just opens up the eye really beautifully. And then I'm going to take a little bit of mascara and just dab the lower lashes, because I just want to touch on this. We'll keep the fuller lash look for our evening. Look up a little bit. Rather than going for a full lip colored look, I am choosing our Tinted Lip Balm. Now the Tinted Lip Balms, despite the fact that you hear that they're a balm, they're actually very, very rich in pigment. This is Strawberry Cream, so it's a bit of a corally shade. It's very pretty. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply it, just dabbing it on Rosie's lips, rather than putting it on as a full lipstick. And you can see that just adds that gorgeous hint of color there. And this is just a really pretty daytime natural look that you can wear anywhere.